All right, good day everyone watching. Welcome to Kuselo Vacho A, and today we are joined by a very special guest, Matt from Woza himself, a founder and co-director, right? And he will be telling us everything there is to know about Woza and the products that they offer. Matt, thank you so much for joining me today.
Awesome. Thanks very much for inviting me, Kuselo. Appreciate it.
All right. Matt, can you please start off just by giving myself and the viewers who might be unaware an idea of just a bit about yourself and what Woza is exactly?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Matthew. I am from South Africa. I grew up on the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal, and I lived in Cape Town for a few years before moving to Vietnam. I moved to Vietnam at the beginning of 2017. I've been here for, I'd say, just over 4 years, I think. And yeah, Woza we started Woza last year. We had our first shipment come in from South Africa. It arrived on the 6th of October. And basically what Woza is Woza is an online supermarket for South African expats, and our aim is to also showcase products that you find in South African supermarkets to the Vietnamese food and beverage industry. So if whether you're a South African expat living in Vietnam and you want to, you miss home a bit and you're looking for something that you kind of used to find in your own supermarkets, that's what we're trying to achieve. And if you're from Vietnam or if you're from another country and you want to try South African different products like food and drinks and biscuits and candy and whatnot, then you can check us out. So we're an online supermarket.
Right. Where exactly is Woza based? Can you give the viewers also an idea of that? And how do you operate across your branches, so to say?
Sure.
Right.
We are based in Ho Chi Minh City. We're in a district called Go Bắc district. And basically we, wherever you are in Vietnam, whether you're on Phuoc Island or you're up in Hanoi, all of the orders that we send out would come from Ho Chi Minh City. We do supply a few retail stores. We supply some stores in Hanoi as well as Da Nang and Ho Chi Minh City as well. So I think the retail market has been a bit difficult since the pandemic. With a lot of stores having to close or having to be open during certain times, whatever it may be. So we've really focused just on the online side for now, but at a later stage we hope to bring our products into Vietnamese supermarkets as well as other stores who are supplying products to expats and other international kind of selection.
Right. And you're saying that these supplies that you give to, let's say, these stores in Da Nang, so to say, would these be like these are partnerships that Woza has, correct? Or what exactly is the relationship with? Or do you just deliver for
I
those?
guess we can call them partnerships. But basically, these are stores which are already established. They might be selling different products. They could be coffee shops, whatever it may be. And basically what they are doing is they start stocking South African products because they have a lot of South Africans actually coming into their store.
I see. Right. There are quite a bit of South Africans here. I think I read somewhere that just in terms of nationalities, that are in Vietnam. The greatest one would be the Vietnamese public, of course, and then following that is actually South Africans. And it's actually quite a number of South Africans. Yeah, I was quite shocked by that when I first came here. Of course, I haven't been here as long as you. You've been here how long again?
Since 2017.
Yeah, I've only been here since late 2019, which practically doesn't count 2019 because by the time I arrived here, 2019 was practically finished. So I've been here, technically speaking, since 2020. So yeah, but yeah, no, it's been great. Definitely an experience to be remembered, right? And every day, because when I first came here, it was like my first traveling experience, and it was every day I would learn something new. So it was it still is a great experience. I have no regrets whatsoever doing it. The main branches of yours in Ho Chi Minh, are they, is it like a store that you have there, or what kind of setup is it?
So at the moment, we are supplying a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a coffee shop and cafe. They are based in District 2. That's called the Old Ladies Drinkery. And it's a South African inspired cafe. They sell milk tart, they sell malva pudding, cappuccino, and now they have a selection of different products that you can buy from South Africa as well.
Oh, that's amazing. And your customers that mostly buy from you, are they South Africans, or are they all is it a mixture of Vietnamese, South Africans, and other nationalities? What is the distribution of clients that you have, or customers?
I would say that 90% of our customers are South Africans living in Vietnam.
Right.
We have about, I think, just over 900 900 people who have signed up to our website, and then we've had just over 700 shoppers.
No.
But that's spread out all over Vietnam. So that, I'd say, yeah, 90% are probably South Africans. If I have to break down that even further, I'd say that about 60% of our customers are female, and about 40% male. And we do have a very kind of a growing interest in the Vietnamese market as well. So I'd say the other kind of 10% of customers who do buy from us are other Vietnamese, local Vietnamese people who might be buying gifts for someone, or are just interested in trying out our products. And then we do have a few people from the UK who also buy products such as our Nando sauces, etc. But majority of our customers are South Africans living in Vietnam.
And what products what products mostly are in most demand from your clients?
So at the moment, we've registered just over 43 products in Vietnam.
Right.
I'd say the ones that are most in demand are things like rooibos tea, Omar Rusk,
of course, tennis biscuits. Tennis biscuits.
Sorry?
Tennis biscuits.
Tennis biscuits.
I knew it. I knew it. Our South Africans we love our tennis biscuits.
A little bit of everything. I think definitely the Simba chips have become a lot more popular than we thought.
Oh, that's interesting.
And also they're the most difficult to get hold of because chips have a very short expiry date.
I see.
When we order chips from South Africa, we order directly from the manufacturer. And it usually takes around 3 to 4 weeks for them to manufacture the chips for us. And
of course.
I think because of the pandemic and the lockdown in South Africa, we've been really having a difficult time securing fresh stock. Other things, Mrs. Paul's chutney.
The boerewors.
Yeah, and so we've been doing meats, biltong, and other products.
I see.
But unfortunately, because there was during the pandemic in Vietnam, we have to send our meat to customers by air freight. And the planes were just not on schedule. There was a lot of delays. If you're sending fresh meat, it needs to get to the customer kind of within a couple of hours.
Exactly.
So just because of the lockdowns and things that were happening here, we decided to just hold off on the kind of the butcher side with the meat and the biltong, and focus on our products that we're importing at the moment. But we will be bringing back meat and biltong products, definitely. We're just kind of waiting for the things to settle down a bit.
Of course,
I've been in lockdown now for nearly 2 months. I think I'm going a bit crazy.
Oh goodness.
So,
the lockdown in Ho Chi Minh is quite hectic. I recently just got out of the restrictions have been lowered recently in the city that I live in Beng here. But we've also been on lockdown for about a month or so. Then now they're slowly starting to open things up, starting yesterday, and that's purely because we haven't had cases in like a few days or so. So so it's hopefully it stays that way. It's your situation down in the south. Oh goodness. Ho Chi Minh, so many cases.
In Vietnamese, you say đi chơi.
Đi chơi. You just want to đi chơi. Đi chơi đi đâu? Uống bia.
I just want to, go to the swimming pool. I just want to kind of go back to
đi bơi này.
Normal living. But I think I understand the situation, and I think we all just got to do what we can and make the best of it. I think that we've been very, very lucky.
No, it's true.
Because of our business license, we're actually allowed to continue operating during the lockdown. So I think that's been very, I count myself as very blessed on that we can actually continue doing business during the lockdown. And when I look around at how many businesses have had to close or have to stop trading temporarily, I just think about how fortunate I am to be able to continue doing business.
The coffee shops and the restaurants.
Exactly. They've had a very difficult time, during 2020 and 2021. And, we started this business during kind of the middle of the pandemic. And it was very worrying. So we'll talk about the challenges a bit later.
Definitely. Can you also just give an idea of, let me see, I'm gonna ask this. Which parts of Vietnam mostly do your deliveries go to? Which people based in which areas order the most?
I would say Tay Ho district in
Hanoi.
Is probably the most, I think probably has the most South Africans actually.
Yeah, they are quite a bit there. What about Hoi Kim?
Yeah, definitely all over Hanoi.
Or Hoan Kim, I think it's called Hoan Kim. I might be making a mistake. I don't live in Hanoi. I'm not too familiar with that word. I know Tay Ho, and I'm not too familiar with.
That's where the lake is.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I think Hanoi is very popular. But what's very interesting is a lot of South Africans who are living in Vietnam actually don't live in the major cities. They live out in different kind of countrysides or rural areas. Whether it be in Tan Hoa or I think where you are in Vinh. And a lot of kind of areas which are, I think it's a lot of couples, South African couples who live out there. but there's South Africans everywhere.
Right.
I'd say in terms of a concentrated area, Hanoi would be the biggest, and then Saigon, District 2 in Saigon would be the second biggest.
Can you give us an idea of the biggest challenges that you had to face as a foreign entrepreneur opening a business in a foreign country like Vietnam specifically? Just maybe some general challenges first, and then some challenges that are specific to Vietnam, so to say.
Okay.
Right.
I think we've had a lot of challenges. We've been in business now for not even a year. I think it's about 10 months. Mm-hmm. And I think some of the biggest challenges is obviously establishing yourself from a legal point of view in Vietnam.
Right.
If you want to start a smaller business, or you want to do some type of homemade goods, or that you can get started in Vietnam. But if you wanting to employ people, and if you're wanting to create something a little bit bigger, you have to basically incorporate. You would have to open up a company. And there's many different ways of kind of doing that, but it can become expensive. And the whole process is very different to what I was used to in South Africa. In South Africa, you can pay a couple $100,
yes,
and next thing you know, you have a company under your name.
Oh.
Where it's a lot more difficult here in Vietnam as well. You obviously have the language barrier, which is a really difficult obstacle, because you can't really just pick up the phone and phone someone and say, hey, I'm stuck with XYZ, please help me. My advice for any kind of entrepreneurs here is to have a team of kind of local Vietnamese partners with you as well. It's going to make a really big difference.
Of course.
A lot of the challenges that we did face, obviously our business is based on delivery. It's a delivery service.
Right.
And when you live in a country, where the official language or the main language is not English,
right,
it becomes, simple things become very difficult. So it was very difficult for our delivery drivers to communicate with our customers.
Right.
It wasn't as easy as picking up the phone and saying, hey, I'm going to deliver today at 2 p.m. or hey, I'm outside your house. So there were a lot of issues that we had with delivery, and things that we had to kind of figure out and make a bit better. I think other challenges, obviously during a global pandemic, things are a bit worrying, especially when you're doing business between two different countries. And because we import, there's been a lot of challenges in the shipping industry as well. The price of shipping things from A to B has increased significantly. And there's also a lot of it's not as easy as just putting a few knickknacks onto a boat and then sending it here. Because we sell food and beverage products, all our products need to be registered. They need to be tested. The labels need to be translated into Vietnamese.
Right.
And before we can actually start selling them, we have to kind of get the permission or go ahead to continue. So that can be very lengthy, and it can be very expensive as well. And then I just think delays as well. Shipping delays. There's been container shortages. It's been difficult to find stock in South Africa. There have been quite a few challenges, but that's life. That's business. That's what you have to do.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess.
Exactly.
What
And we've in the beginning there were a lot of issues that we had with delivery, with just making sure we have the right amount of stock on hand. But I find that, we're slowly ironing out those issues, and we're getting to a point where we're going to make sure that we always have enough stock on hand for our customers, and that deliveries are delivered to the customer on time. And more importantly, that we improve our communication with our customers. That's quite a big thing as well. So I'm seeing a lot of improvement, and I'm getting a lot of great feedback from our customers as well, which I really appreciate, because all the feedback that I can get, I'm just using it to improve the business.
Right. And that's what you should do, I guess, as a new enterprise, particularly in a foreign country. I mean, the input from the customers is quite valuable, and you'll find that the customers probably, some of them have been here for a very long time. I know some South Africans that have been here in excess of like 5-7 years or so, and the feedback that you'd get from them just purely because they would have, some of them would have stayed in a lot of parts of Vietnam, so they might give some very valuable advice on certain things, right?
Definitely. Whether it's a customer thanking us for our service, or it is a customer who's upset with something, any type of feedback that I can get from our customers is gold to me. It's what I can use to improve our business and to improve our service. At the end of the day, the customers are the people who we serve, and any way that I can add more value and serve them better, I'm happy about that.
What products mostly do the Vietnamese public take a liking to?
I would say the Nando's sauces.
Oh.
Again, Nando's sauces. What else would be quite popular? Anything that isn't too salty. I think in South Africa we enjoy food that has it's quite salty. I think most of the Vietnamese customers enjoy something that's a bit more sweet.
Sweet and not too strong on the salty part. It can be chili. Chili is fine, but the salt, you must be careful with the other spices, the ones that give it too much flavor in taste, right?
Exactly.
I've also seen that a similar story around just like, for instance, I have a few Vietnamese friends who tried out Indian food at some point, right? And they just didn't like the strongness of the flavors and the taste there. Goes back to, I think, relates to what you're saying as well.
Wellington sweet chili sauce is very popular as well.
Wellingtons. Oh, yes. Oh, amongst the Vietnamese public?
Amongst my Vietnamese customers, definitely. Wellington sweet chili sauce is very popular. The tea, rooibos tea, is very popular. A few of the biscuits as well, the tennis biscuits, I think because tennis biscuits have kind of a coconut base, I think coconut's very popular here in Vietnam as well. So I'd say tennis biscuits are very popular with my Vietnamese customers.
And I know you've already mentioned some of the struggles that you've had with the coronavirus, but is there anything else that you can probably give in terms of another big struggle that you had as a small to medium enterprise in Vietnam, giving the services that you guys give the public?
I think anyone doing business in Vietnam has to learn how business is done here. It is done a little bit differently to what we used to in South Africa. I think we have to deal with a lot of restrictions especially when you're importing food and beverage products, or you're selling those, there's quite a few restrictions and things that we have to make sure that we're doing properly. But I still think the language barrier is definitely a big one. But my co-director and my partner, she is, she's been in the shipping industry for many years, and she handles shipments for big name brands like Adidas, Puma, Levi's, and she handles all their shipping between South Africa and Vietnam. So, having someone like that on my team has made a huge difference. I would say that if I was trying to do this on my own, I probably wouldn't have got it going. You need someone who has the expertise, has the experience, and knows the local language and culture, and make something that would be quite easy in South Africa. But it's a lot more difficult here. And just like picking up the phone and getting information about something can be quite difficult here.
Interesting. Yeah, a language barrier, I think. Yeah, can be quite difficult. Also, this is on a last note. I swear this is my last question. So I saw on your website, right? There are some big South African beverages that will soon be coming to alcoholic beverages that will soon be coming to your shelves. Can you give the viewers, those who are interested in that type of thing, as well as myself, an idea of what these big names are that will be coming, the South African beverages, which ones exactly will be coming? Can you give us an idea of that?
So next month we will be launching 30 South African wines. All the wines that we are going to be bringing in, we partnered with other importers who already have the license to bring in the wines. So we're going to be launching with 30 wines next month, and then at the moment we're in the process of registering our first beer and our first cider. The first beer that we're going to be bringing in will be Carling Black Label, and the first cider that we're going to be bringing in will be Savannah Dry. So that's still going through the whole process of registration. We have kind of slowed things down just because it is quite difficult to buy alcohol from South Africa at the moment. But I'll say that the beer and the cider, we should have our first shipment coming in September. Depending on how things go with the lockdown restrictions in South Africa, it's quite difficult to obviously get hold of alcohol at the moment. But we're looking at expanding into all different things, brandy, amarula, flying fish, Hunters Dry. I mean, we basically want to bring all the kind of beverages that you could find back in South Africa to Vietnam. And by being able to start importing it ourselves, we can also bring the price down. We do want to be competitive in the market. I know that in Vietnam there are a lot of imported beers already, but I think that we can definitely compete with some of the selection that we have in South Africa. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. So yeah, from next month we'll have the wine available. A few weeks after that we're going to have some beer and cider available, and hopefully a few weeks after that we might have some more things in stock. All
right. That's really amazing stuff, Matt. Just personally from myself, I feel the establishment Woza, after what you guys are doing, is fantastic, just from the perspective that during times like these, where it has become increasingly difficult to do something as simple as just going home, whether it is permanently to go back to SA, or just to visit your family for a few weeks or months and coming back, or whatever the case is. Things like that have just become so difficult in the times that we live in, and I think the products that you guys offer, whether it be alcoholic or the tea, or all the South African products that you guys offer, are definitely giving the South Africans that would be feeling homesick something just to feel better, to make them feel better about the situation. And yeah, I think it's really fantastic, of course, and I wish you guys all the best for just in the near future, and in all your ventures. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And you know, there's we are going to be bringing in another 10 new products this year. We're kind of busy with the market research. We're getting information from our customers. We, posting a few things on social media to kind of get a feel for what people want. So we will be registering another 10 new products as well. And I just want to take this opportunity to, first of all, thank everyone who supported us from our very first shipment, and to our customers who, continue to buy from us on a monthly basis. I understand that these products mean a lot more to you, than just a simple cup of tea or biscuit or something like that. It's a taste of home, and I couldn't do this without the support that I've had from the expats here in Vietnam, and I'm just really thankful for that, and thankful for everyone's support. And we're going to do our best that we can to serve our community better here. Right.
All right, Matt. And just quickly in closing, how do people get hold of you? Or it was enough?
So what you can do is you can go to our online store. It's wozanamfi.com, and that's quite easy. Otherwise, you can message us on Facebook or Instagram, and you can place your order via that route as well. But the best thing to do is just go to our online store. It is very easy to use, and we hopefully in the next few weeks will be turning that into an app, which you can download on your phone to make it a lot easier to do your shopping as well.
All right. Matt, thanks again so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks very much for your time. And anyone who hasn't checked out your channel and seen your Vietnamese in action should definitely take a look at it, and appreciate your thanks for this.
All right, thank you so much. My Vietnamese isn't that fantastic. Right. All right, cheers, man. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Cheers, Zach.
Cheers.
Woza Namfi. Saving lives. Oh my God. Little bit of Oma. Knickknacks. Oh my God. Tennis biscuits. And some Ultra Mo. Thank you, Woza Namfi.